Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, August 23rd. We had an eviction. We have a new head of household. We have pranksters. And kind of a semi-wrecked head of household coming up. So let me try to explain it as best as I understand it. And trust me, at this point, we do not know all of the details. But I really feel like mine make the most sense, which means I'll probably be wrong. Annalise evicted 5-1. That's makes sense. Nick's the only one that voted for her to stay. Nick is kind of the odd man out in the house. It was interesting the booth thing being faked out and doing a prank. That was kind of fun. All right, that was good. I wonder how much the house guests actually were surprised. I think even when they rolled open the backyard, they said that's why the backyard was so small. Like they knew something was up, but I guess they didn't know it was a split. And that's why when we had the backyard, there's an account that posts pictures of the backyard taken by a drone, and there was this wall going halfway across the backyard. That's what it was. And people were like, "Oh, it's the wall comp," and I'm thinking, "No, it's the short way across. It would be the long way if it was the wall." And obviously, that's what it was. It was the fake wall being set up for the reveal. Holly just knocked it out of the park. Now when she rolled it didn't quite. It landed, short, but it bounced just perfectly and dropped into the 50. So Holly's your head of household. In an interesting little twist there at the end, because Cliff and Nicole had the exact number of 18, there was a three-way. 3 people are suffering the prank punishment, which, as it turns out, is pies in the face all week long. They've had to pie themselves, pie each other, and then pie fellow house guests so far. So that'll be going on. It's going to get really old really quick. I thought they might have them do different pranks, but I guess the announced punishment is that they will be doing pies in the face all week long. Okay. I think they've got enough right now for the segment, but I guess they'll be doing more fun things with pies over the next few days. Christy was a bit gloaty, it seems, with staying. Holly definitely commented on the gasp from the audience when she voted to evict Annalise, so they're trying to read into that. Christy's spinning it that she thinks Annalise is famous and an influencer, and that's why there was the gasp. No, because they really thought that she would vote Christy out, and they were surprised. I don't... Was the audience that surprised, really? That's the thing. Did they really think that she wasn't going to vote Annalise? Is the audience that dumb? I don't get that. We all thought that's exactly what Holly was going to do, because how come the audience didn't think that? Who are these people? All right. So, there's been a couple of batting arounds, but in the end, it seems like Holly's plan is to nominate Nick and Christy. Nick being her primary, Christy being her pawn target. Of course, we know that's what's going to happen, or at least it's not going to happen quite that way. Now, lots of people are divided on the Merry Prankster or the Prankster vote thing. So first of all, if you haven't voted yet, you can still vote. I made a short URL. Well, it's not a short URL, but it's an easy to remember URL that I try to update whenever it happens, and it's vote.bigbrotherlivefeeds.com. Now, the Big Brother Live Feeds, that's a domain I own, and I just set the auto forward to vote.bigbrotherlivefeeds.com, auto forwards to the CBS page for voting, whichever one it happens to be at the time, which is currently the prank thing. And so if you go to vote.bigbrotherlivefeeds.com, you get bounced to the CBS page where the voting is. The voting lasts until noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So as of right now, you have roughly 4-ish hours. You won't have near that much by the time you hear this. It may be too late for many of you by the time you hear this. You can vote up to 10 times. You could have voted 10 times last night, I voted 10 times at about right after the show ended, and then right after midnight Eastern time, I voted 10 more times. So I voted my 20 times. I don't even remember who I voted for at this point. I'm not sure who I want to get this. The way I understand it, all right, is the person, think of the hacker kind of a thing. It's kind of one of the hacker things. The person who is the prankster will get to nominate somebody. Holly is only going to get to nominate one person. Now, there's a mixed feelings on how that's going to work for Holly. Some people think that Holly's going to get to nominate two people, and then one of them will just not be nominated. I don't. The logic of that doesn't work for me. In that, what Holly does Holly have to rank her nominations? Well, this is my first and this is my second. I don't think they're ever forced to do that. I think they just make two nominations. So how would they decide who's not nominated? Are they going to let the prankster look at the list and say, oh, well, she's not going to get to nominate these two? So let's go with the easiest way to illustrate this is with the scenario of let's pretend that Nick, for some reason, I don't think he will, but let's pretend he wins the prankster, that America votes for him. So Nick's the prankster. Well, first of all, we know that Holly's planning on nominating Nick. So would Nick be allowed to take himself off and leave Christy up? Because Holly's talking about putting up Christy and Nick. Would he say, oh, leave Christy up and I'm not going up and I'll put up, Jessica? Or would he just say, well, I can't take myself off, so I have to put up somebody in place of Christy? That doesn't seem right either. The easiest way for this seems to me that at some point today, after noon, once the voting is done Eastern time, the screen will change. There will be an announcement that there's a prankster, and he gets to make one of Holly's nominations, and Holly will only get to nominate one person. That, to me, seems like the most logical way. So it won't be a shock at the table that it happens, but the entire house will be called into the room and told that this is what's going to happen. So Holly will have to decide on her nomination. The prankster will decide on one nomination. Obviously, maybe the prankster will be told you have to pick two in case Holly nominates the one you have in mind. And then the reveal will happen, where Holly will reveal her nomination, and then the prankster's nomination will be revealed. No one is going to know who the prankster is, unless, of course, the prankster chooses to tell the house him or herself. So we may not know until Sunday who the prankster is. This is all the way I think it works, by the way. I could be completely wrong, but it just seems the most logical way for it to work. Then the power veto comes along, and the prankster will not be able to play in the power veto as the same way that Holly gets an automatic trip to the power veto to play. So they aren't truly splitting the head of household, because if they were, then they would do so to me, if they wanted to make this a true sharing of the head of household, the power veto would be a secret competition. Or a timed competition that everybody got to see everybody else's times. Or not even, see, that's the thing. Because if they did a time thing, they'd show everybody's times, but they couldn't show the prankster's time. But if they don't show the prankster's time, then you don't know who, if Jackson got to play in it and Jackson turned to be the prankster, well, they can't show two times. So there's all kinds of problems with how to make the power veto part work. So I just don't think that the prankster will be allowed to participate unless the prankster is participating as themselves because they were either nominated or they were drawn by a chip or picked by a house guest choice. So there's a possibility that the prankster won't get to play at all in the power veto, and there's also the chance that the prankster will play, but it won't be playing because they're the prankster. How's that? The power veto ceremony will be held. If Holly's nomination comes off, Holly will get to name the renom. If the prankster's nomination come out, the prankster will get to nominate the renom. My guess is before the power veto ceremony, the prankster will get called to the diary room, obviously just like a regular diary room visit for somebody, and be asked, all right, if the power veto is used on your nomination, who do you want to put up in their place? And then they will tell them, because there won't be a problem. It'll just be, there's your choice. That all seems very straightforward to me. That's how I'm anticipating it going. So, stay tuned and we'll find out if I'm completely wrong or if I'm actually right. And that's what I got for you. No have-nots this week again. Surprise! They've had have-nots for a total of 2 weeks this season. And Jackson completely cheated all during one of them. So, maybe it'll come back and just be a 1-week thing from now on. Or maybe Big Brother will be over after this season. If Useless Traffic, John, a.k.a. Useless Traffic, has his way, Julie will be done hosting. Because he is dead set in pointing out that her contract apparently isn't up, hasn't been renewed yet. And so he keeps speculating that she's done with Big Brother, and either Big Brother is done or Julie won't be back for the next one. I don't know. I don't particularly care. But I think you guys all know that. So, yeah. That's it. That's what I got for you, I think. We'll get nominations later tonight, but it is going to be interesting to see who actually goes up. Big Brother Gossip Show tomorrow night. I don't know where I'm going to be doing it. I may be sitting in my car. I may be sitting at home. I'm not sure yet where the heck I'm going to be doing my part of the Big Brother Gossip Show. We're just going to have to figure it out. You'll know when you hear it. Once again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm doing a virtual shout out to one of my patrons, Jacqueline, who apparently hadn't watched last night's show because she was at a Rolling Stones concert. Okay, we get it. You think the Rolling Stones are more important than Big Brother? I don't know why you would think that, but I would agree. And I would say that you didn't miss it much in last night's show. Now that you've listened to this, the competition, the ball competition was not one for the ages. I mean, the first roll was by Holly, and she nailed it at 50, and nobody else came close. And that was that. And Annalise's interview, which I did watch the extended interview that was posted by CBS, and I will tell you that Annalise is still a horrible interview. She was clueless. She didn't know what was going on. Her explanations were worthless. But she's excited to see Jack. But she's also a free spirit, and she's just a baby, and she doesn't think there's going to be anything wrong with, it's not going to last long with Jack, but he hopes he likes her. Yes, it was just horrible. I am happy that Annalise was voted out last night. I'm hoping that Christy doesn't go all the way to the end, but you know what? Whatever. I mean, it's just whatever. Christy's going to definitely bring more drama and make the show more interesting by being in the house than being in the jury. And Annalise won't be missed at all. At all. If you're going to miss Annalise, then you're obviously just, I don't know. I don't know what you are. You're her family. How's that? All right. That's it, folks. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. For those of you that won't be listening to our show or anything for some reason, why not? What's going on? But we are in August next weekend. Oh, next weekend is the 31st. It'll still be August next weekend. That's true. So, hang in there. Have a good one. If you happen to have any weird questions or anything, ilovereality@gmail.com works. Those of you, anybody who's interested in being a patron of the Big Brother Gossip Show or this CarCast, you can always sign up at patreon.com. Just search for Big Brother Gossip. You should actually see probably both of them, and you can pick which one you wanted to go to. Someone did ask if there's a way to make a one-time donation. I have a suspicion that the person who asked that doesn't listen to this, but if they do, you can always go to patreon.com and sign up for whichever one you want to be a patron of, and sign up for a donation, and just cancel after a month. Just make your one-time donation and be done with it. All right? That's an option. All right, guys, I am parked. We'll talk to you on Monday or this weekend. Actually, you know what? I'll be periscoping. I'll be driving tonight at some point or tomorrow. So I'll probably talk to some of you several times yet this weekend. See you later. Bye-bye.